Weirdos. My name is Felicia and I like scary movies, and I feel like I have a lot to catch you up on. I don't know if any of this is interesting to you guys, but I'm just going to tell you all about my life really quickly. So one, it's been a big week. I'm wearing pajama pants. Don't mind me. It's been a big week. One, I have a mouse somewhere in my house right now. It is terrifying, and I do feel like I'm living in a little tiny horror movie of my own, and I don't know where it is at any given time, and that is truly terrifying. We do have traps out. We had the landlord come and plug up all the possible mouse holes things. But Jesus Christ, it has been terrifying and so stressful. So if you've ever had a mouse and you have advice for me, just put me a comment down below. That would be great. Second of all, I had the Popeyes chicken sandwich for the first time yesterday, and it did blow my mind. It is 1,000 times better than the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and I don't care who knows that I think that, because it's just true. I have never eaten something that was that delicious before. It fully, I'm late to the game, but it blew my mind. And the third update for you guys is that I started watching Cheer on Netflix. I think I tweeted about it. And oh my God, that show got its claws into me in some kind of special way. I don't know. It really blew my mind. I cried at every single episode. It is a docu-series about the Navarro cheerleaders, which is one of the top cheer teams in America that is based out of this tiny community college, this tiny town in Texas. And it's like, I don't know. I was never a cheerleader. Okay, I've never done that. I danced, I did theater, but I never did cheerleading, and this is a special kind of cheerleading these people are doing. It is literally freaking Cirque du Soleil level, but it was just like an incredible show, and very emotional. All their stories were just really told very well. I don't know. I'm not someone that is interested in cheerleading, but I watched the show and I'm obsessed with it, and now I'm like, I kind of want to watch cheerleading as a sport, because it is amazing. Okay, are those all my updates? I think so. I don't typically do that in my videos, but I just felt like I had so many things to tell you guys, so I just did. But today's video is PG-13 horror movies, and the reason I'm doing this is because Lauren and I were having an interesting conversation, because on our podcast, which you can also watch on this channel, we did an episode talking about the new Black Christmas and the new Grudge. Okay, so Black Christmas has historically been a rated R film, and this 2019 version was PG-13. Okay, The Grudge was always typically a PG-13 film, and now the 2020 version was rated R. So two well-known, franchises or movies or whatever that have sort of flipped, okay? And I wondered what that meant for me as a viewer, and if it was going to make this movie scarier or less scary to me. And funnily enough, I don't know if I have an answer to that, first of all, because I was so excited for a rated R Grudge, and that movie just disappointed me in many, many ways. And then in Black Christmas, though there were things I don't think worked about the movie, there was a lot I really liked about the movie. And I also freaking love scary stories to tell in the dark, which is, anyways, okay, get back to the point. But I just think there are actually some really good PG-13 horror movies that will actually scare the crap out of you, that you can just watch the day you turn 13 or before, whatever. And then as I was making my list, I even reached out to you guys on Twitter and in my live stream, just asking for recommendations and things I might not have found. And I just had such a good time doing this. I think there might actually be a part 2 to this video, because I'm going to tell you about 6 movies that I think are really good. But my list is actually much longer, and then there were a few movies that I had never seen before that I was very interested in checking out, and some that I saw in the early 2000s that I just don't remember if they were good or not. I just don't remember. So I didn't want to put those on here in case my memories were bad or whatever, because 10 years is some time. This is the longest intro I've ever done, I think. But it's okay. We're just hanging out. I'm filming this so late at night. Okay. All right. Mama. better introduction. The first PG-13 horror movie that will actually scare you is Mama from 2013. So first of all, this was directed by Andy Muschietti, who gave us the It and It Chapter 2 of the last couple of years. Great director, and Mama was sort of his first big thing. He had actually filmed Mama as a short film previously, and then got to do the full feature. A little plot, if you guys haven't seen this one. Let's see what I wrote. Okay. On the day their parents died, 2 little girls vanished into the woods. 5 years later, they are found in a decaying cabin. They are taken in by their aunt and uncle who try to reintroduce them to normal life, but someone or something wants to be the only mama in this house. So basically there is an entity that had been taking care of these little girls in the woods for 5 years, and the little girls were rescued, and the entity did not want to let go. And it is a fascinating movie. It was also executive produced by Guillermo del Toro, and you do feel that a bit in the film, I think. But what I think is so interesting about this movie is having an entity that is, yes, evil and doing very normal ghost movie evil things, but is also like a tortured soul and just wants to take care of these little girls. And I think that is a really interesting twist on this subgenre, and I really loved it a lot. I also thought the little girl actors are really good, and I remember it genuinely scaring me. Also, I remember the thing that annoyed me when I saw Mama was I thought that the witch, you know, the Mama, when she is finally revealed, which she is, that I thought it was like, I thought she looked really shitty. I thought it was like shitty CGI. But I also couldn't really remember what it looked like. Like, I had this image in my head that looked really bad, and so I just rewatched the end of the movie because, you know, whatever. And I actually was like, oh, this looks way better than I remember, so maybe I was just, you know, having a bad day when I watched it and was like, I want to critique this. But when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, this is, like, actually really good. And there is an actor, you know, it's a male actor, I forget his name, but he's done a lot of creatures. Let me see. Oh, Javier Botet or Botet, unclear. But he plays the Crooked Man in The Conjuring 2. Yeah, he's done a lot of horror movies. It looks like he plays a lot of scary creatures. That's very cool. He was in Witching and Bitching, which I have never seen, but I find the poster so funny looking. If you have seen that movie, please tell me what is it? Is it good? Is it terrible? Is it so terrible it's worth watching? Just let me know. Okay. You guys have a lot to tell me in the comments today. And there's more to come, I'm sure. Anyways, Mama, very scary. Next up we have Insidious. Oh my god. Okay, this is obviously James Wan. He did Insidious movies after Saw, so this is his sort of second venture into horror. Maybe there was something else in there, but let me look. Having IMDb at your fingertips, what a blessing. All right, okay, so it was Saw 2004, Dead Silence 2007, Insidious was 2010. Okay, but Insidious, I rewatched it last night and this morning, mostly just because there are so many movies that are similar to Insidious, but they're not. But so many, like, you know, haunting movies, you know, the family moves into a new house and it's haunted and blah, blah, blah. And so I just couldn't remember if it was a generic version of that or if there was something else going on. And there was something else going on. When I rewatched it, it actually got me so many times. And I remembered just, I don't know, like the characters have a lot more depth to them. They have a history. There's surprises. There's twists. There's turns. It's not what you expect. And I think it's a really, really great PG-13 horror movie. I'm actually sort of surprised. I guess there's not really any blood. A lot of the movies that ended up on my list did end up being paranormal style movies because you can get a lot of scares in without blood, and blood, of course, is something that can really up your rating. So it centers on this couple. The wife is played by Rose Byrne, who's just a star, and Patrick Wilson, who James Wan will work with many more times after this. But this couple and their 3 children move into a new house, and their oldest son, goes into a coma. And they don't know why. Like, doctors can't tell them why. They don't know what's going on. And then the mom starts experiencing all of these paranormal stuff happening, and all these ghosts. And she thinks they've moved into a haunted house, which would make sense. But it's not just that. And if you've never seen Insidious, I don't want to tell you any more than that because The twist on it is just so interesting. This movie also stars Lynn Shay, I should add, and this is probably one of her most famous horror roles. But it's a great movie, and I have not seen a lot of the sequels. I don't know if I've seen any of the sequels. Have I? I know there's like 4. I don't know. But I was just so pleasantly surprised, because I remember liking it, but I was so surprised on how well it did on a second watch. So that was cool for me. The next movie I'm barely going to talk about because I've talked about it on this channel just 1,000,000 times. That is The Ring from 2002. It is a PG-13 movie, and it is so scary. As many of you may know, that was my first horror movie I ever saw. I watched it in my room with my big brothers, and it just... oh God, it scared me so bad. But this is, of course, the cursed videotape movie. A journalist discovers this cursed videotape where when you watch it, you have 7 days and you're gonna die. And then we have our iconic horror villain, Samara, who is one of my favorites. I love everything about her. She's so dark, so evil, and yet so, like, vulnerable in certain ways. I don't know. I've always loved Samara. To be clear, I am talking about the American remake directed by Gore Verbinski, but this is based off the Japanese Ringu from 1998, just to be clear. All right, next up, another movie I still can't believe is PG-13, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. This came out in 2005. This movie's terrifying. It's clearly an exorcism movie, so, you know, possession and all that. And this movie is about a lawyer, played by Laura Linney, takes on a negligent homicide case involving a priest who performs an exorcism on a girl. So the priest is played by Tom Wilkinson, and the girl, Emily Rose, is played by Jennifer Carpenter. And she freaking kills it in this movie. It is like, it's like a masterpiece. But this movie is really scary. Yes, of course, we always get the based on a true story thing, which, you know, can help something feel a little scarier. But this, once again, is just a really interesting take on an exorcism film. It's not just about the girl that is being possessed. It is about the lawyer who is trying to help this priest who is being charged with negligent homicide for a demon. It is just fascinating, and I really, really recommend this movie if you guys haven't seen it. Okay, next up, I think this is number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Okay, this is a movie I just watched for the first time, and I told you guys in Horror Movie Club that I was gonna watch it, but it is Ouija: Origin of Evil. I told you guys I think it was the only Mike Flanagan movie I've never seen before, and I just hadn't watched it because I hadn't seen the first Ouija, and everyone said it is a standalone movie. You don't have to watch the first one, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm sold. So I watched it the other night, and I was just so delighted. Okay, takes place 1967, LA. It is about a widowed mother and her 2 daughters that run a seance scam. So they bring people into their house, they give them a seance and have them talk to their loved ones, and it's all fake, okay? And then they bring a Ouija board into the house to sort of help and give an extra gimmick or whatever, and they actually end up inviting some pretty evil spirits into the house. And I really, really loved it, and it actually really scared me. The little girl, who is the one that definitely has the closest connection through the Ouija board and with the spirits in the house, just is so creepy and so scary. This stars Elizabeth Reeser, who is also from Haunting of Hill House, so clearly her and Mike Flanagan worked together again. Oh, and it also has the girl, I always forget her name. It is the girl from Oculus. Annalise Basso, I don't know. But she was great in this movie, and then the little girl, the youngest daughter, is played by Lulu Wilson, and she really was very, very spooky. And truly, I'm being so real, guys. Like, all of these movies on this list actually scare me. Like, actually, when I'm watching it, I am jumping, I am nervous, I am excited, I am scared. These are truthful opinions. Okay, last but not least, we're going to talk about Lights Out from 2016. So this was directed by David F. Sandberg, who also did Annabelle Creation. But, okay, so Lights Out was actually first a short film, and you can watch it on YouTube. I will link it down below. And Lauren literally sent it to me. She was like, hey, just, like, watch this video. And I watched it, and I screamed out loud. It was one of the scariest. It is so freaking scary. It's scarier than the feature, I swear to God. Something about a short film sometimes can really just get you. But anyways, Lights Out. So our main character, Rebecca, basically when she was growing up, she experienced some very scary things. She moves out of her house and she thinks she has left her childhood terror behind her. And then her little brother starts experiencing some of the same paranormal style things that she experienced. And then they basically together figure out that there's an entity that's been attached to their mother for their whole lives. And I'm going to say that's not a spoiler because it's literally in the IMDb plot synopsis. But this is the movie where you can only see the scary, scary creature with the lights out. And so if the lights are on, you can't see her. And then as soon as you turn the lights off, you can see her. And it is super, super scary. I even remember the trailer of this movie scaring me. And but I'm telling you, that short film, I hope I can find it. I hope I can find it because it's so scary. And just a very strange fact is that Lights Out was filmed in the same exact house that Ouija Origin of Evil was filmed in, and they both came out in 2016. Isn't that so weird? I love weird shit like that. Okay, and that's it, people. That is your super scary PG-13 horror movies. And if you guys want a part 2 to this, I have enough material to do a part 2. Just let me know in the comments if you're interested in it. I think what's now that I'm really like at the end of this video, I think what's actually interesting about PG-13 horror is that you have to use a different style of scare than you would normally use in an R-rated horror movie because you can't really use gore. And so it's like, what are you going to do to scare someone? And what can you do, not that all of these explore this, but what can you do besides jump scares to scare an audience? So if you can't do gore, it's either like you're going to really heavily rely on jump scares or you're going to do something a little different. And I think all of these movies at some point do something a little different. And I think that's very cool. And that's it, weirdos. I will see you, I guess, in tomorrow's video because tomorrow is Monday. This video is going to go up late tonight. It's going to go up late tonight. That's okay. But it is so nice to hang out with you. Oh, shh. Ghost. But that is it, people. I will see you later, and I hope you have a nice scream. Bye.